Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Donnie Rakestraw. I'm the guy behind the Hershey Thing. Let me explain the Hershey Thing to you, okay? The Hershey Thing, it isn't about me. It's about what I learned the hard and painful way. It's about exposing how the laws designed to protect all workers in our great country have been manipulated to benefit companies. Companies like Hershey. Profits being what matters the most, the worker is expendable, not the profits. Hurt a worker, replace him. Keep on getting them profits. That has to stop. We deserve better than that. Maybe my story can reach the ears of people who have the power to change laws so we can get the protections we deserve. Let's start with these questions, okay? These are the questions that Hershey's doesn't want to answer, but they're going to have to when we get to trial, okay? Why did Hershey's choose not to provide a safety mat when I asked for one, even though they were already in the building? Why this hurts Hershey's? They knew the mats existed. They knew I needed one, and they refused anyway. That shows knowledge, ability, and refusal, not an accident. Those safety mats, per the safety videos, are Hershey's responsibility to provide. I'm documented neuropathy, so that makes me pretty well a disabled person, which throws in that they chose to not provide me with the mats to comply. This is why this hurts Hershey's. They knew the mats existed, they knew I needed one, and they refused anyway. That shows knowledge, ability, and refusal, not an accident. Why did Hershey's choose to ignore their own safety videos and say that it is their responsibility, their own safety videos that say it is their responsibility to provide the mats requested, not the workers? Okay, they're supposed to provide those. Why did Hershey's? They ignored their own policies and training. When a company violates its own rules, it has no defense. Why did Hershey's choose to keep me working on bare concrete knowing that I was a disabled worker with neuropathy? Why this hurts? ADA requires accommodation. They chose to deny. That is discrimination, not misunderstanding. Why did Hershey's choose to deny treatment, deny injury paperwork, and ignore photos of my damaged foot? Why this hurts Hershey, okay? OSHA and workers' comp require documentation. They tried to hide the injury instead of treating it. That's a cover-up. Why did Hershey choose to reclass my injury as neuropathy, not work-related, after I filed my report? This is why this hurts Hershey's. They researched it, that they reclassified it to block treatment and erase responsibility. That shows intentional avoidance of liability. Why did Hershey's own doctor say the injury was caused by lack of mats, but they claim it was not work-related? Why this hurts Hershey's? Their own medical provider contradicted himself. A jury sees lie, not confusion. Why did Hershey choose to put me on a stand-up forklift, the one job that forces nonstop pressure on my injured foot? Why this hurts Hershey's? They knew I was injured and placed me in the worst possible role. That looks like retaliation, not scheduling. Why did Hershey choose to put me in the same painful spot repeatedly while more than 25 other workers rotated through safer positions? The one position they put me in had no mats. The rest of them had the rubber mats. If everyone else rotated and I didn't, that is targeted treatment, discrimination, and retaliation. Why did Hershey choose not to escalate my injury to medical review or give temporary restrictions when they had the authority to do it instantly? Why this question hurts Hershey's? They could have helped in minutes. They chose not to. A jury is going to see that as cruelty, not oversight. Why did Hershey choose to fire me instead of rotating me or giving me a seated position? This is why it hurts Hershey's. Termination after injury is retaliation. Courts punish retaliation harder than original. Because I had a foot injury, they put me on a fork truck. That fork truck was a stand-up truck. That did not provide any relief, okay? Why did Hershey choose not to file an OSHA injury report after I showed photos of my damaged and ulcerated foot? Why this hurts Hershey's? These are questions that hurt Hershey's, okay? So why this hurts Hershey's? OSHA reporting is mandatory. Not filing is a federal violation and a proof of intentional concealment. Next question. Why did Hershey's choose not to start workers' compensation when the injury clearly happened on their floor and under their supervision? Why this hurts Hershey's? Workers' comp is automatic. Denying it is fraud and liability avoidance. Why did Hershey choose to ignore my neuropathy documentation when assigned job duties? This hurts them. This is going to hurt Hershey's. ADA requires accommodation for disability. They ignored medical proof and worsened the condition. Why did Hershey choose not to provide light duty even though other workers received it? Why this one hurts Hershey's? Other employees got safer placements. I did not. That is clear disparate treatment. Why did Hershey choose to punish me after I asked for accommodations instead of helping me? Why this hurts Hershey's? Request. Punishment equals retaliation. Retaliation is the single most dangerous claim in court, or so I've been told. Why did Hershey's choose to let a supervisor handle my injury report instead of HR medical? Why this hurts Hershey's? Supervisors cannot diagnose injuries. Taking control shows interference and intent to manipulate classification. Why did Hershey choose not to send me for treatment after I showed pictures of the wound? Why this hurt Hershey's? Ignoring visible harm is willful neglect. Juries punish cruelty. Why did Hershey's choose to fire me after putting me in positions likely to cause more injury? Why this hurts Hershey's, okay? They showed the problem, then blame me for consequences. That looks like a setup. Why did Hershey's treat my neuropathy as an excuse instead of a condition requiring accommodation? Why this hurts Hershey's? ADA doesn't care where the disability came from. It requires accommodations regardless. Why did Hershey choose a cover-up instead of a solution? Why this hurts Hershey? They had mats, safer jobs, HR and doctors. They chose denial, retaliation, and termination. Why did Hershey watch me limp for more than 3 months without ever providing treatment? Why this hurts Hershey's? Visible deterioration and no response shows willful misconduct, not accident. That is malicious. How much will Hershey's insurance pay on this case after a trial verdict? Why this hurts Hershey's, Nothing. They're not going to pay anything. Her insurance does not pay for retaliation, ADA violations, intentional harm, reclassification fraud, denial of treatment, or willful misconduct. Hershey's, not their insurance, will pay the entire judgment and most likely the cost of my lawyers and the court costs, as well as what it costs for special witnesses. Do I smell possibly a RICO at Hershey's? Why this hurts them? RICO is about patterns of behavior that benefit the organization, denying mats, denying treatment, avoiding OSHA, avoiding workers' comp, reclassification, unsafe roles, termination. Every choice saved Hershey money and harmed them. Why did every decision Hershey made benefit the company and none benefited the injured worker? Why this hurts them? No mat kept in production. Cheap. No OSHA kept records. Clean. No workers' comp. Avoided claims. No treatment. Avoided cost. Reclassification. Erased liability. Stand-up forklift kept high output. Termination removed risk. Every decision protected Hershey. Every one hurt me. And lastly, I challenge everyone, and I mean everyone, press, everyone. I challenge you. Ask these questions. Ask these questions for yourself. Go ahead and ask them. I'd like to hear what they got to say. Thank you for your time. Y'all have a great day and a good night. Thank you. I'm done. I don't need those. Okay.
Still running.
It shouldn't be. I'll try to edit it out if it is.
Stop it.
Yeah.